everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and I wanted to show you how you can go from iOS 14 back to iOS 13. So maybe you're running an iOS 14 beta, or maybe iOS 14 is now out by the time you're watching this video, and you want to roll back to iOS 13 while you still can. I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. Now, the first thing you'll need to have is either a Mac running the latest version of macOS or a previous version with the latest version of iTunes installed on it. Or you can use Windows with the latest version of iTunes as well. Now, the first thing you'll need to know, though, is that you'll have to wipe your phone in order to actually restore it to the previous version properly. I've tried to update the phone, not restoring the phone and not wiping all the data first, and that doesn't seem to work properly. So you'll want to restore the phone, and then we'll install the backup back onto the phone or restore it. It's not that difficult of a process, but I wanted to show you how to do that. Now, if you already have a backup from iOS 13, 13.5, 13.6, depending on when you're watching this and which version's available, you'll be able to restore an older backup to that version. However, you cannot restore a backup that's newer to an older version. So for example, if you have a backup of iOS 14 and you want to restore it to iOS 13.5.1, for example, you won't be able to do that using iCloud Backup. However, we can do that on the computer side. So if you already have an older backup, you're happy to restore that, you're good to go. Otherwise, you'll want to back up your phone to the computer and wait for that to complete before proceeding to the next step. Now, if you want to back up iOS 14 for future use, maybe you want to go back and get your information later on, just go to Settings, go to your name at the top, then go to iCloud, then scroll down until you see iCloud Backup. Once you see iCloud Backup, tap on that, and then tap on Backup Now. This will back it up to the cloud, and then you'll have a current snapshot. So if you ever want to go back to iOS 14, wipe the device and restore it from that iCloud Backup, you'll be able to do that. However, if you have iOS 14 right now and you want to keep the exact same information, such as your messages, your music, and everything else, we can actually back it up to the computer and restore that later on. So make sure you have your phone ready to go, your computer is turned on, and then go ahead and plug in your phone to the computer. Now, once you have your phone connected to the computer, click on Finder here. It will pop up this window, and on the left-hand side, you'll see your device. Go ahead and click on your device. Now, if you're using iTunes, you'll want to open iTunes. And you can see that I backed this up earlier today, but just make sure that you back up all of your data on your iPhone to this Mac. So select this option, click Backup Now, and once you have that backup and it's completed backing everything up, you're good to go, and we can move on to restoring the phone. Now, in order to restore your phone to a previous version, you can't just click on Restore Phone here. You'll actually have to put it into recovery mode first. Now, this varies on how you do it based on which device you have. So, for example, if you have an iPhone 6S or 6S Plus, what you'll need to do is power it off. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll wait till it turns off completely. And then what we need to do is take our cable, our lightning cable, and then what we'll need to do is press and hold the home button, keep holding the home button, and then plug in our lightning cable. Keep holding the home button until it boots up, and then you'll see a Connect to iTunes logo. So it'll take a moment. There we go. Our phone is now in recovery mode, and all we need to do is click Restore. Now, if you want to do the same thing for an iPhone 7, the process is a little bit different. Now, here I have a jet black iPhone 7, and in order to put the iPhone 7 into recovery mode, you need to do this a little bit differently. So again, shut down the phone, then hold volume down. So hold down the volume down button, then plug it in, and keep holding volume down until it turns on. So again, it's going to turn on, wait for it to go into recovery mode, and then you can release the volume down button. Now, if you have an iPhone 8 or newer, the process to put it into recovery mode is a little bit different. So for example, if you have an iPhone 8, 8 Plus, 10, 10S, 10S Max, iPhone 10R, iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max, or iPhone SE second generation, you're going to follow this process. So if you want to put it into recovery mode, what you want to do is plug it in. So let's go ahead and plug it in here. And then what we're going to do is basically force reboot it or hard reboot it. So press volume up, volume down, then press and hold the power button. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll press and hold the power button until the phone reboots into recovery mode. So we'll keep holding. It'll reboot in just a moment. We'll wait for it here. It takes a moment to turn back on, and we'll keep holding that power button until it comes into recovery mode. So there we go. You'll see it's booting up. We'll wait for it a little bit, and in just a moment it should go into recovery mode. And this may take a moment. You can see this is taking a little bit. Now we're in recovery mode where we can restore the phone. Now, maybe you did this by accident. You decided you don't want to do this and you want to kick it out of recovery mode. Follow the same process. So again, let's unplug it, volume up, volume down, press and hold the power button, and keep holding it until it reboots again, and then it will kick it out of recovery mode. So it'll boot back up in just a moment. We'll wait for the Apple logo to come on, and then we'll let go of the power button. Now, sometimes it won't come out of recovery mode that simple. Let go of the power button, hold it down again, and there we go. So that time I actually had to let go of it, press it again, and let it boot up. I've had that happen on newer versions. It's a little bit hit or miss, but just keep in mind you may have to do it a couple times to kick it out of recovery mode. So we'll wait for it to boot up so I can show you, and then I'll show you how to actually restore the phone. Now you can see the phone has booted up. It took a moment, but now we're back to the main home screen and we're good to go. Now let's go ahead and restore the iPhone XR. You can see here in settings that it's actually on iOS 14, so let's restore it to iOS 13. So again, let's do the same process here. We'll plug in the lightning cable, volume up, volume down, press and hold the power sleep wake button, and we'll wait for it to reboot into recovery mode. Now that we're in recovery mode, this will pop up on your screen where it says there is a problem with the iPhone that requires it to be updated or restored. And it's a little strange, the wording here, but let's go ahead and click Restore. And then we'll click Restore and Update. And it's warning you that everything will be erased, and then we'll have to either restore from a backup or start over again. So let's go ahead and click Restore and Update. Now on this screen, you'll see it's going to show us the version it's going to restore to, iOS 13.5.1 in this case. So let's go ahead and click Next. Then we'll click Agree. And now it will download the appropriate update. This will take a while, and you can see sort of the status here on the left. It will take a while. Once it's complete, it will restore your phone. So give it a while, it will restore, and you'll be good to go. And then we'll continue with restoring the backup so you can have all of your information back. Now, during this process, you're going to see a status bar on your phone, and it will go across, and the phone may reboot a couple of times. And on the Mac, it is just going to say iPhone recovery mode. Your Mac is preparing to restore the software on this phone. And that's really all you get. So just be patient, wait for it to complete, and once it's completed, we'll move on to the next step. Now the phone has been restored and you're back to the initial setup screen. Now let's go ahead and set this up. Now at this point, this is where we can set up the phone as new. We can restore the backup from iCloud right here, or we can restore on the computer. Now, if you want to restore from an iCloud backup, just tap on that and you can use an older backup. But you'll see that the current backup that we did on this phone, iOS 14, is not available. It's grayed out, but you can restore from any other backup that you had earlier. However, if you want the exact same backup from today that we restored on the computer, we'll need to go over to the computer and edit a file. So we'll go back and let's just go onto the computer and click Restore from this backup. And you'll see it says iPhone XR, and we'll click Continue. Now you'll see it says to restore this phone from a backup, you must first set up the phone as new and restore the software to the latest version. So again, we're getting that same error, but we can fix this. Now what we need to do is in the Finder, we'll go to Go up at the top and then go to Folder. And we want to go to this directory. Now I'll link this in the description. Also, there's a different directory if you're on Windows, but you can see it's Library, Application Support, MobileSync, and then Backup. Click on Go, and you'll see these are the backups from today. You'll see this one says today at 1:33 p.m. So we'll double click and go into this folder. Scroll to the bottom and you'll see info.plist. Now, depending on how you have this sorted, it could be at the top or the bottom. So just find info.plist and then open it with your favorite text editor. There's free ones on the App Store. I'm using BB Edit. So we'll go ahead and open that up. And you'll see this is just a trial for now, but we'll go ahead and open it up, go into here. And what we want to search for is the word version. So Command F on a Mac. And we're looking for the word version where it says version, the current version of the backup 14.0 and the serial number. So make sure you're on that one and then change this particular version to the version that you're actually restored to right now. So 13.5.1 and then go ahead and go to File and go to Save. Once that's saved, go ahead and exit the program. Then you'll want to click on your phone again and then we'll go to Restore iPhone XR. We'll click Continue. You'll see it says last backup today, 1:33 p.m. And then on the phone, it will now allow us to restore and say Restore in progress, and it will reboot and start restoring our files. So let's wait for this to complete. Now, if you're curious about the status, you'll see a little circle here on the left that shows you how far along you are. So just continue to be patient while it restores. Now, once the phone reboots, you'll see it says swipe to upgrade. So I'll swipe up, put in my passcode, and you'll see the Apple logo, and you'll see a progress bar. Give it just a moment. Now you'll see it's rebooted and it says hello. So we'll swipe up, it unlocks, and it says restore complete. We'll hit continue, and we may need to set up our Wi-Fi network. We'll agree to the terms and conditions. We may need to enable location services or disable them. You can set up Siri now or later, and swipe up to get started. And you'll see there are all of my apps in the background, and they'll need to restore, but this is in the same configuration they were on iOS 14. So it will take just a moment. You'll see it doesn't look anything like iOS 14 now. We just have our old style widgets, and we'll wait for this to restore. Now all of my apps have installed. The pages are laid out exactly how you would expect them. We're good to go there, and all of my data is there as well. So for example, I have messages. All of my messages are there. My music is there. My photos are there. So this is the wallpaper that I'm using in this video that I downloaded before making the video to put as the wallpaper on all of the phones. And of course, I'll link that in the description as I always do, but all of your data should be there. So I installed Pocket Casts, opened it back up, and my account was already signed in. Some accounts may require you to re-verify, so just keep that in mind, but all of your apps and its data should be there, your call history and everything else. So if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below, and hopefully this helps you revert back to whatever version you'd like to use, as long as Apple is still signing that version and allowing you to downgrade. So that's how you do it. If you have any other questions or suggestions or other videos you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.